Hey guys, Team DDD here, and today we've got Westin's Domain Monarch deck profile. Take it away.
Well, I tried a lot of the gimmicky stuff like Vanity's Ruler, all like the weird 2 tribute monsters, and it just got brickier, which is a huge problem, so I kind of just went back to the more simple Monarchs. There's like 2 spicy techs in here. They're fine, but for the good cards, 3 Erebus. This would probably be a 2 of if we had Aether, but we don't have nice things like Japan, sadly right now. But this is probably the best Monarch we still have in the game. It sends stuff, it can shuffle back. It's good first turn or second turn. It can shuffle back from field or hand. And it sends your spells and traps. It can get your engine started if you don't have a whole lot ready. Next, I do 3 Vanity's Fiend. Your deck's not as explosive as it used to be, so you kind of just have to be stunnier than it used to be. And nothing kind of just shuts it down like Vanity's Fiend. A lot of decks just lose to it. And 3 Idea. This is probably the best card in the deck currently, besides like maybe Pantheism. This, it automatically gets you two monsters on field, 1 that gets you another tribute. It recycles your spells and traps, so even though some of them are limited, you still have access to them continually, and it doesn't have to be tributed. It's just sent to grave to get that effect, so that's great. And to go along with Idea, we have 3 Eidos. Less good on his own, but still very important. This recycles the Ideas from grave, and this you can just normal summon and you'll still get the extra tribute. So you could run 2. I don't advise that. I'd say go with 3. And 2 Kuraz. This is kind of to summon off Aether. This can pop your dead cards and get you live ones. Also, this can pop your opponent's cards. So it can be good disruption if you Aether during their opponent's turn, which never happens anymore because all the cards needed for it are limited, but still, I wouldn't go lower because you want it in deck, and I wouldn't go higher because it's just okay on its own.
I missed that card with Gofu.
I do too. And next we have 1 Aether. Sadly, we cannot play more of this. This is easily the best Monarch card to date. It summons 1 from deck and bounce it during the end phase, so this can... When we had multiples, this could just search another Aether and continue loops, but now it usually just summons a Kuraz, pops a card, pops up to 2 cards. So it can pop your dead cards, and it sends the Monarch spells and traps, so MVP of the deck, even at 1, is Aether. And some of the 1-of Mega Monarchs, I do Caius and Mobius. Mobius is good for back row. The only problem is usually the back row you try to pop, he just runs right into. So usually if you're running into 2+ back row, he just gets negated. But not always. It can still come up really good. And worst case, he's still a Monarch to make like Tenacity, Domain live. And Caius, it's just a buffed up small Caius. So I don't run more because he's really bad first turn. Because if you're just trying to set up a Domain lock, you drop him, he has to banish himself, and you just went super neg to look like an idiot. And I do 1 small Caius. You can cut this all together, or you can just replace this with the small Monarch of your choice. I just liked Caius. I don't like spinning stuff. I don't like randomly guessing from hand. I just like banishing it. It usually gets it out of the way fine. And brownie points if you can actually tribute Mega Caius off this. It's really cool. And the spicy tech, I'm running the Dark Elemental Lord. Probably not the easiest thing to pull off, but it is really funny. You can search Idea. You could cut this for like a Majesty's Fiend, for probably cards that would work better, but yeah, it's really fun if you can resolve it. It's actually really good if you can resolve it.
Sometimes you gotta go for the memes.
With this deck, you do. And Link Slayer. I just run 1. I'd probably say you could take it to 2. I did not like 3, but 1 was fine. You don't really need it a ton. He's nice. I mean, he can pop back row, but discarding your cards in Monarchs, you kind of need the cards in your hand, so like summoning him and discarding 2, you're left with like just about nothing, and you don't get your advantage back super quick unless you open like a Pantheism plus a Prime or something. So he's fine, he's fun. And onto the spells. I do 3 domain. The deck's domain Monarchs for a reason. This lowers your 8s to 6s, makes them easier. You can domain into domain to make it a level 4 and just normal summon an Aether if you have to be funny. This boosts you your Monarchs up during the battle phase and takes them up to like 32 or 36, depending on if they're like the 6s or 8s. But yeah, and it shuts down the extra deck. Saved the best part for last. The Domain's just a super good card. I would not see why you'd run less than 3. And the Searcher for it all, thankfully we still have this around at 3, Tenacity. You reveal a Monarch, or a Monarch stat line, and you get to search any Monarch spell or trap. So basically this is going to be a Pantheism grabber most of the time, because you need that. It's just continuous card advantage, and this is fairly easy to get live. 2 ofs. I'm doing 2 return and 2 march. I usually see march at 1 because it doesn't really progress your game state, it's just protection. And usually once you have the domain lock live, you don't need the extra protection. But I liked it. It's another Pantheism target. You can pitch it to get Erebus back from grave. It's nice. And return is one of your better cards. You set this up, and when you tribute summon, you get to search a Monarch, or Monarch stat line-ish, I guess. And basically, the big play is you like to tribute summon. You get Aether out. You bring out Kurez. You set the chain links up so you get to pop this and get your search, and it's just a lot of free card advantage. Or you can keep this around and just keep continually getting the Monarch you want for the situation. I do 2 Foolish Burial Goods. You really only ever want to resolve 1, so I don't want to get 3, because if you get 2, you're honestly just sending stuff that probably be better off in deck or searched. I know you should run stuff at 3 or not at all, but this was perfectly fine at 2. And the limited stuff, 1 Pantheism, 1 Stormforth. This is just your draw spell. It brings at 1, it hardly helps with consistency, but it does bring a lot of consistency to the deck. Being able to set up your Monarch spells and traps in grave and get 2 cards, and then you can banish this, reveal 3, and your opponent gives you 1. So it all the way pays for itself. And Stormforth lets you tribute some of your opponent's monsters. It's a quick play. It's perfect. And some more 1-0s. You have Frost Blast and Restoration of the Monarchs. This is like a premature burial. A little worse, but it's searchable. And it actually does help with recovery plays a lot if Eidos or Adia get stopped or you don't have access to them at the time. And Frost Blast, it's another good card to send off Aether or Erebus, or to pitch off stuff. But it's just a spell of trap removal. And other ones, you have 1-for-1, Foolish Burial, and Reasoning. Reasoning, nobody really guesses 1 on a lot of stuff anymore because no one's expecting Infernoids, so you can hit Adia off this. Or if they get hit with it once, maybe they'll guess low and run into one of the big Monarchs. Or they can think big or small and they'll hit a middle one. It can hit a lot of stuff. Or it can hit Link Slayer because he's a 5. They never guess for that one. But it's just free tribute fodder a majority of the time. And if not, it can at least set cards up in grave. It's perfectly fine. And Foolish Burial, you can send Erebus and then get him back by pitching a Monarch spell or trap. And you have 1-for-1. I can also send Adia. Can't forget that. And 1-for-1 just to get Adia for tribute fodder. And traps, I do 2 Prime Monarch. This it keeps recycling your stuff and giving you draws. And it can revive it. If you send 1 to grave, you can banish a Monarch spell or trap, revive itself. It's continuous tribute fodder, and it recycles cards. If it wasn't a trap, it'd be definitely a 3-up, but it's fine. I'd run 2. I wouldn't run more, or I'd brick, and I wouldn't run less, or you just never have it. And I run 1 Erupt. This could go up, but in Monarchs, it's so easily searchable. It's not like True Draco was, where you just have to hope for drawing it, or anything gimmicky. You can run 1, you can search it when you want. And against some matchups, this is just game. and no extra deck because I'm playing Domain.
All right, guys, that's all for today. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and catch y'all next time.